Daniela Owusu, Lucia Maiden of 2024 faces waves of hate and racism. President Stubb does not support peacekeeping efforts in Ukraine. EU leaders meet in Saariselkä amid a snowstorm. Finland seeks support for border security. Serious traffic accident in Rovaniemi. 2 dead, many injured. Daniela Owusu, selected as the Lucia Maiden of 2024 in Finland, has become the target of thousands of hateful, racially charged messages. These messages not only target her but have also affected her family, prompting them to contact the police and file a report. Helsinki police have launched a preliminary investigation into these messages, which include allegations of defamation. The hateful messages surfaced after Owusu, a native of Kirikkonummi, was chosen as the first African-origin Lucia Maiden in the 75-year history of the festival. According to Folkhalsen, the organization behind the Lucia Festival, they anticipated some negative reactions but did not foresee the severity of the situation. The messages contain racist content, insulting Owusu's skin color, origin, and religion. Meanwhile, on TikTok, some Finnish users have exploited the Amharic language to bypass mechanisms for moderating hateful content. Amharic phrases have been inserted into Finnish comments to deceive detection algorithms, allowing comments that violate community guidelines to remain unnoticed. This incident not only raises questions about racism in Finnish society but also underscores the urgent need to raise awareness and strengthen measures to combat hateful behavior on social media platforms. On December 18, Finnish President Alexander Stubb and First Lady Susanne Ines Stubb hosted the traditional Christmas greeting reception at the presidential residence in Rovaniemi. This year's event was special as Lucia Maiden Daniela Owusu, who has faced racial abuse, performed alongside her choir. Dressed in the traditional white attire and a candle crown, she delivered the song, A Hay-Filled Bullpen, spreading light and hope. Speaking to the media, President Stubb emphasized, "We condemn all forms of racism and stand with Daniela. Hurtful words not only harm individuals but also affect the entire community." He also urged everyone to reflect on their actions. This year's Lucia Maiden, chosen by the Folkhalsen organization, symbolizes a message of light and love. Despite challenges, Daniela has received widespread support from the community. The president affirmed, "We must continue to fight against racism to create a safe environment for everyone." After Daniela Owusu, a girl of African descent, was chosen as Finland's Lucia 2024, she endured thousands of racist comments on social media. In response, a solidarity movement emerged. People were encouraged to donate to the charity organization Folkhalsen, which uses these funds to support families in need and women affected by domestic violence. Donations increased by 4 to 5 times compared to previous years. Stina Heikkilä, a representative of Folkhalsen, expressed gratitude for the support shown for this year's Lucia. Bishop Bo Goran Ostrand also condemned the hateful comments, asserting that the Lucia festival is not bound by skin color. He emphasized that racism has no place in Finnish society and called for serious reflection on the issue. The incident once again highlights the problem of racism in Finland and calls on everyone to take action toward creating a more equitable environment. President Alexander Stubb noted that a peacekeeping mission in Ukraine could require hundreds of thousands of troops and risk escalating tensions with Russia. Speaking at the JEF Joint Expeditionary Force Summit in Tallinn, Stubb emphasized the urgent need for Ukraine to receive immediate weapons support to strengthen its position in peace negotiations, along with long-term security guarantees from NATO. He stated that deploying peacekeeping forces at this stage is unrealistic. According to President Stubb, maintaining peace would require at least 150,000 soldiers, amounting to 450,000 participants annually if rotated. He argued that such plans are overly ambitious and stressed the need for a clear consensus within NATO before moving forward. Additionally, JEF nations proposed measures to prevent Russia from using ghost fleets to evade sanctions in the Baltic Sea, including stricter inspections of insurance certifications for Russian oil tankers. JEF, consisting of 10 European nations led by the UK, operates as a complement to NATO, designed to provide rapid crisis response. Prime Minister Petteri Orpo is hosting a summit of EU leaders this weekend in Saariselkä, Lapland, to discuss security, immigration, and border protection. Attendees include Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis, Swedish Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson, and EU High Representative Kaja Kallas. One key focus of the summit is Finland's proposed expulsion law, which would allow Finland to deport individuals crossing the border from Russia without processing their asylum applications. While the law is under review by the EU Commission, Commission President Ursula von der Leyen has expressed support for the measure in a letter to leaders. Finland is seeking consensus to address illegal immigration at its border with Russia, which has been closed for over a year. Prime Minister Orpo emphasized that reopening the border would require an agreement with Russia on controlling illegal crossings. Beyond immigration, EU leaders are also discussing defense security and recent undersea cable disruptions in the Baltic Sea, suspected to be acts of sabotage. Swedish Prime Minister Kristersson stated that while no clear evidence has emerged, the government is deeply concerned about the region's vulnerability. The Saariselkä summit holds not only political significance but also promotes Lapland tourism, celebrated for its snowy landscapes and magical Christmas ambiance. Since Finland joined NATO, U.S. Marines have been regularly stationed and trained at Dragsvik, Tammisaari, a strategic location near Rovaniemi. These troops are mostly young individuals from North Carolina, many of whom are leaving the United States for the first time. During their stay, the U.S. Marines work closely with Finnish forces, participating in major exercises such as Freezing Winds, which focus on coastal defense. While their presence is not permanent, it has become a familiar sight since 2022. The U.S. forces are in Finland to support NATO's efforts in strengthening the eastern border's security while gaining valuable experience from Finnish troops under harsh conditions. Daily life for U.S. Marines in Finland is relatively straightforward, maintaining weapons, training, and staying fit. They also learn to adapt to the cold climate and collaborate with their Finnish counterparts. Although there are moments of homesickness, camaraderie and bonds with colleagues help them overcome it. This military cooperation not only strengthens NATO relations but also enhances preparedness for regional security challenges. Taras Vazua, a resident of Ruokolahti, lives just 700 meters from the Russian border. From her yard, she can see the Russian forest across a snow-covered field. An active member of her community, Vazua emphasizes the importance of ensuring security for villages near the border. Surveys conducted by village associations in southeastern Finland reveal that many residents near the border favor enhanced border controls and clear evacuation plans in case of emergencies. Although the surveys did not explicitly ask about threats from Russia, such concerns surfaced in open-ended comments from respondents. However, research from the University of Jyväskylä and the University of Eastern Finland indicates that rural residents' greater concerns are access to healthcare and the quality of internet connectivity. Some believe the media has exaggerated fears of war, but for Vazua, trust in the eastern neighbor is a luxury. We don't really trust that neighboring country, Vazua says, her gaze fixed on the forest along the border. She believes that even without openly discussing it, villagers have their own contingency plans to ensure safety. Three members of the Finnish Party received serious reprimands for voting against the government's line in a parliamentary vote on hospital emergency service cuts. This decision was announced by the party's parliamentary group on Thursday. Specifically, Mikko Lundin, Mikko Palvinen, and Sanna Antikainen voted in opposition, while Antti Kangas, who was absent, received only a mild warning. The parliamentary group's chair, Jani Mäkelä, emphasized that such actions must not be repeated. In the future, voting against the government will result in more severe consequences, he stated. The Finnish Party, which has historically opposed strict group discipline, now demands stricter adherence to party lines on key issues, marking a significant shift in its stance. Despite the dissent, the bill to cut hospital services passed narrowly by a vote of 101 to 96, with opposition also coming from 5 MPs within other governing parties. The demand for food support during Christmas in Finland has surged in recent years, reflecting the growing financial difficulties and social welfare cuts. Food distribution events and free meal services have been organized across the country, but the limited number of spots has left many unable to participate. In Turku, the Christmas party for people in need at Lagamo could only accommodate 800 guests, half of those who registered. Similarly, in Pori, the free meal on December 23 was fully booked, despite an additional 100 spots compared to last year. In addition to meals, the demand for food packages has also risen. In Kokkola, the Huvakelo organization reported a 20% increase in the number of food packages distributed this year compared to last. In Rovaniemi, the Grand family has maintained the tradition of distributing Christmas food packages for 20 years, but the number of packages still falls short of demand. Organizers attribute this to the financial decline of the population and social benefit cuts. They forecast that the demand for support will continue to rise in the coming years. Starting in January 2025, the value-added tax (VAT) rate on many services and products in Finland will rise from 10% to 14%. This change will affect sectors such as sports services, pharmaceuticals, passenger transport, books, accommodation services, and cultural and entertainment events. The tax increase will drive up prices, impacting consumers. For example, the membership fee for a sports center will rise from €62.9 to €65.19 per month. Costs for parties, bus tickets, and even prescription medications will also increase. However, for prescription drugs, the retail price will be regulated by the state. It is estimated that the government will raise about €245 million from the VAT increase to reduce the national budget deficit. However, this move raises concerns about its negative impact on the economy and people's living standards. Many experts believe that instead of stimulating the economy, this tax hike could reduce purchasing power. Meanwhile, businesses face difficulties in deciding whether to raise prices or absorb the increased tax costs from their profits. A serious traffic accident occurred on Thursday afternoon, 19/12, on Valtatie Road, about 25 kilometers from downtown Rovaniemi. The accident involved a passenger bus and a minibus, resulting in 2 fatalities at the scene and several others injured. The police confirmed that the 2 victims were the driver and 1 passenger of the minibus. The bus was carrying 29 passengers and a guide, while the minibus had 6 people on board. The initial cause is believed to be the minibus driver overtaking another vehicle and colliding head-on with the bus. Poor weather conditions, heavy snowfall, and strong winds reduced visibility, contributing to the accident. All 37 individuals involved were taken to the Lapland Central Hospital for medical checks. Some people sustained severe injuries and required hospitalization, while those with minor injuries were discharged. The bus was owned by Lapland Safaris and was on a chartered tour for a travel company from Singapore. A representative from the travel agency praised the bus driver for handling the situation skillfully, helping to minimize the impact of the accident. The police are investigating the incident, with charges including serious traffic safety violations, causing death, and injuries. Authorities are also coordinating with the relevant embassies to assist the affected tourists. Rovaniemi, a popular winter tourist destination, is facing an increased risk of traffic accidents due to high tourist numbers and harsh weather conditions. Authorities are advising drivers to be cautious and comply with traffic regulations to ensure safety. Valtatie 21, also known as the Road of the Four Winds, is a vital 466 kilometers long highway connecting Tornio to Kilpisjärvi, running along Finland's western border. While crucial for transportation and military purposes, especially in emergencies, this route is notoriously dangerous, particularly in winter. Statistics show that last year alone, the Muonio-Kilpisjärvi section recorded 28 accidents, 21 of which occurred on the narrow and deteriorating stretch from Palojoensuu to Kilpisjärvi. This area is currently undergoing a renovation with a budget of €30 million. The main causes of accidents are slippery roads and international drivers lacking experience in icy conditions. Dozens of heavy trucks crash into ditches every year. Just this winter, several incidents have been reported, including one involving Ukrainian driver Vasily Stefanchuk, who crashed on the icy road. "I hope the truck isn't damaged so I can continue my journey," he shared in the freezing cold. Valtatie 21 needs urgent upgrades to ensure road safety, minimize accidents, and support the smooth flow of vital goods. LUT University in Lappeenranta is gaining attention for its unique dual degree program, combining degrees from both China and Finland. In collaboration with Hebei University of Technology, the program currently has over 800 students from 51 countries, primarily from Asia and the Middle East. Some students, like Tianxi Yang and Chengji Ding from China, express a desire to stay in Finland and work after graduation, thanks to the multicultural learning environment and high quality of life. International students pay a tuition fee of €9,000 per year but can receive scholarships based on academic performance. Slavena Medeva from Bulgaria hopes to work in the aerospace field, while Joel Ruotsalainen, with Finnish roots, wants to pursue a career in design. The program not only offers learning opportunities but also helps address the shortage of skilled labor in Finland, supporting local companies. Recent research on working conditions in Finland shows increasing concerns about job insecurity and unpredictable changes, affecting all groups of workers. Expert Hanna Sutela from Statistics Finland notes that no one is safe from this instability anymore. In the past, higher education and positions in the public sector provided stability. However, even highly educated individuals are now worried about the risk of being laid off. Especially, the younger labor group aged 25 to 34 faces many psychological issues such as burnout, stress, difficulty concentrating, and insufficient sleep. Despite these challenges, Finland still retains many advantages: flexible working hours, a flat organizational structure, a supportive work environment, and strong digital skills. However, Sutela warns that these strengths should not be overlooked in the context of rapidly changing labor market conditions. Dr. Pekka Kallioniemi, an IT expert from Tampere University, has warned that the online shopping app Temu could pose security risks similar to TikTok. According to him, Temu collects vast amounts of user data, allowing for the creation of detailed digital profiles that could potentially be used for political or religious profiling. The Finnish Security Intelligence Service, SUPO, has stated that data collected by Chinese companies could be used by the state for intelligence purposes, as Chinese law mandates companies to cooperate with the government when necessary. While Temu denies security risks and claims not to share data with the Chinese government, citing a report from the Swiss National Cybersecurity Center, SUPO advises users to exercise caution. SUPO highlighted that even small pieces of data can become significant when combined, potentially aiding intelligence activities and influencing public opinion. Traficom, Finland's national cybersecurity authority, has also warned consumers to consider carefully before using foreign shopping platforms like Temu. However, some experts argue that the risks from Temu are no greater than those posed by Western platforms such as Amazon. Temu asserts that it only collects data necessary for processing payments and shipping and denies any allegations of data misuse. This Christmas season, respiratory infections caused by viruses and bacteria, such as the flu, RSV virus, and COVID-19, are on the rise in Finland, according to Dr. Leif Lakoma from the Finnish Institute for Health and Welfare (THL). More than 100 types of viruses causing respiratory infections are currently circulating. To reduce the risk of transmission, Dr. Lakoma recommends basic hygiene measures such as hand washing, using disinfectants, covering your mouth when coughing, and ensuring proper ventilation in indoor spaces. It's also advised to avoid gatherings if you are showing symptoms of illness. The flu season has already started, with an increasing number of cases in many areas. Those in high-risk groups can still get the flu vaccine to protect their health. Meanwhile, the number of COVID-19 cases has increased but has not reached the peak levels of last year, thanks to a high vaccination rate among the elderly. Mycoplasma infections and whooping cough have also slightly decreased but remain at the highest levels in 30 years. If any severe symptoms appear, particularly in unvaccinated children, immediate medical attention is recommended. This Christmas, the weather in Finland will warm up significantly. Although Christmas Eve will be somewhat cold, the temperature will rise, especially on Christmas Day. On December 25th, temperatures may reach up to 5 degrees Celsius in many areas. Prior to that, there will be rain and snow, particularly in the southern and southwestern regions. However, on Christmas Day, the weather will become drier and warmer, although some areas in northern Finland may still experience snow and sleet. Most of Finland will have a white Christmas, except for the southwestern part, where snow may be absent. Christmas in the central and southern regions will be particularly warm compared to usual temperatures.